in winter training, we've got the luxury of almost unlimited time and space in our facility. So we're certainly in the water, in the weight room, and even in the classroom, teaching, having team meetings, reviewing the meets. We're doing that well over 20 hours a week. When we get back to class, we've got to compress everything down to 20 hours a week. So it's probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 fewer sessions per week. Each session has got to be contained generally within 2 hours. So a lot of the teaching that we do, a lot of the extra time that we spend in Christmas training really has to be compressed. We're also now within 5 weeks of the SEC championships. We're in phase 2 kind of our whole season, whereas in the fall we're really building conditioning, endurance, some skills. In the second part of the season, we're putting the conditioning to use, trying to further a little bit, but also putting those skills under pressure more often. And so we're trying to go at higher speeds in more concentrated sessions. And then in between times, when we're either doing aerobic maintenance, speed maintenance, or race-specific skill work, we're really just trying to address the details even more. So we kind of move from larger concepts to smaller concepts and try to do that within either a maintenance practice or a practice where we're pushing it hard and trying to create as much fatigue that's race relevant as possible. So really we're trying to get more specific in a little bit less time when we get back to class. A great practice basically puts people in a situation where they've got to make a decision, and we want them to be able to make the right decision. So telling people what to do is probably 10% effective. But when we try to create a practice environment, a practice situation where in order to be successful, like the success of the set or success of the swim is essentially defined by the decision they make, then they're in charge of the learning. So we try to basically put ourselves in the place of the athlete. It's been a long time since I've swum, but I've watched people react, to not having a lot of air, and that's a big issue. I think the need to breathe creates a lot of bad habits. So we think about that a lot. Try to imagine the different kinds of fatigue that they feel in different kinds of sets and different races, and recreate that fatigue within a set so that they're familiar with it and they get used to making the right decisions. We also we look for feedback from them. I mean, the best coaching that happens on this team very often comes from the athletes, because if they know what we're trying to do and then it's not effective, or they think that there's a better way to get where we want to go, then they'll tell us. So what we do, it tends to evolve quite a bit, and the feedback we get from the athletes is a huge part of that.